Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Uniontown Stories. Today, I want to start by introducing you to the award-winning author, Uncle Dave Howard. Welcome, Uncle Dave, to the podcast. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm very good, very good. Hey, I want to get started right away here. I want to know, when was the point where you said, "Hey, I want to be an author of children's books"?
I started basically right after I made a book for my niece's baby shower. It was like a personalized gift. My first book was Lady's Day to Play, and it was a personalized gift to her. And I just had this cute little poem in my head, and I thought I would illustrate it for her and give it to her. And then after I gave it to her, like 2 months after I gave it to her, her baby died, and I just went back and I redid the whole book, did the illustrations, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
And when I was in the process of doing that, rewriting that, I was inspired to write another one and inspired to write another one. But that's basically the point of when I started to really enjoy writing children's books.
So you got the bug. It all started from actually like a poem or a small
Yeah.
writing.
It was a very short, tiny little poem. It was basically about this puppy. Originally, it wasn't about Lady. Lady's the dog that I currently own. She's 6 years old, and I wrote it for my other dog, Buddy. He passed away, but it was basically just this cute little story about this puppy and getting a bath. It was actually the middle of the book. If you ever get the book, it's the middle of the book about my wife is a dog groomer, and whenever I was walking by, she likes to sing to the dog to keep him calm in the bathtub. And she was singing this song, "Rub-a-dub-dub, there's a puppy in the tub," and it just kind of like clicked. I was like, that's a really good, cute little thing. I just expanded on it, just like you, puppies need baths too. Kind of letting the kids, know that the dogs need baths. It's just a little bit of learning in there. And then the poem ended at watch your shiver, watch your shake, better dry her off before there's a lake. But, if you look at the illustrations, it's already too late. There's water everywhere. And that was the entire poem.
Right.
And whenever I had that rolling in my head for doing the book for my niece, I was like, well, it's really not much of a story. It's just a cute little poem. That's like, well, how did the dog get dirty? So that would be the beginning of the book, and then what happens after the bath, that'd be at the end of the book. And of course, the way my dog always gets dirty, it rolls around in the dirt, and after the bath, it takes a nap. So that was basically a day in the life of my dog, Lady. Like I said, I had that poem set aside, but whenever I was writing the book, Lady was with us, and Buddy had passed away, and that was, like I said, a pretty old poem, and I just basically put the two and two together. It was the first time that I did that. Now, I had written children's books in the past. When I was in junior high, I started writing poetry probably since I was 10 years old. But the first poem the first children's book I wrote around junior high, and it was about a fat cat. Pat the Cat was the name of the book.
Pat the Cat.
And Pat the Cat. And I really never did the illustrations to it. I always wanted to do illustrations to it. And I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and I was always trying to come up with illustrations to that story, but I never really put the two and two together. I also had Jake the Snake and Jay the Dog, and there was just really little poems and books that I never really put the illustrations to them. And it was basically whenever my niece's baby shower came up, and I was like, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to actually do it this time. I'm actually going to put an illustration to my poem, and it actually started to fall into place pretty quickly. After I did that first illustration, it was the one. My first illustration was actually the one where she's shaking the water off in the middle of the book, and I was at the Honda garage
Mm-hmm.
with my wife's car. She had a timing belt change due, and they had a Target right above the Honda garage in Washington. I went up, got some color pencils and a color pad, and went back in the garage. And I was sitting there, I was bored to death, of course, because it's a 4-hour job. And
Wow.
I was sitting there just, I had that poem stuck in my head, and I just doodled. I was doodling that dog shaking the water off. And I
Now,
was like, oh, yeah, really do something with this. And it turned out really great. I got the book done at lulu.com. And this is basically a self-publishing type of thing, and I gave it to her for a baby shower, and it turned out fairly well. But after her baby died, I really got in there and redid all the illustrations, and that's pretty much the result of what's published currently. And it won an award, Best Children's Picture Book Softcover Fiction in November, USA
nice.
Best Book. Yeah, from USA Best Books, 2011. So award winning, like you said.
Right. Congratulations on that.
Thank
Hey,
you.
let me ask you something. Has things like that always came easy for you?
No, never, no. Usually, it was really hard for me all through school, because I have attention deficit disorder and dyslexia, so things like that hardly never came easy for me.
Wow.
I could never now every once in a while, like the poems will just come to my head just like in a snap,
Right.
and they'll spill out of me. But usually whenever I'm going back and trying to put the stuff together, that's the hard part. Well, I have like all these little ideas in my head, and I never really can put them all the pieces together, because currently I have like 20 some book ideas right now, and I only have like 6 finished.
Wow. You gotta leave time. You gotta give yourself some time for it. Definitely. No. What kind of? I wanted to talk to you. I mean, we know each other and things from the museum and stuff like that. And tell me about when you had troubles in the school. And I want to know. I want to tell people about the Christmas story about the processor. Can you
Yeah,
tell me that story?
sure. It was I was in junior high, and I was put into special classes at the probably I would be say the beginning of the 5th grade. I was put into LD classes where they thought there was something wrong with me.
Now, LD is a learning disability for people that don't know.
Learning disability classes, and it was the 80s, so they really didn't know what attention deficit disorder is, or they didn't know what dyslexia was.
Sure.
That's what I found out over time what I was, but they just knew that there was something wrong with me. I was too smart for the LD classes, and I couldn't pass the mainstream classes, so it was really a really tough thing. And I was frustrated about that too, that I was put into these slower classes, because I knew I was more, I was smarter than that, but I couldn't pass because I couldn't spell, I couldn't pay attention. But then junior high came, and I was still stuck sort of half and half, basically, 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, 50-50 mainstream LD classes, and my parents basically decided, well, I should say Santa Claus basically decided that for Christmas that I should get a word processor. And I came through Christmas, and I went down to the tree and opened up my usual presents, and then my dad says, well, there's one more present left, and I'm like, where's it at? I'm like, I don't see anything. I have unwrapped everything, wrapping papers everywhere, the bows everywhere, the whole freaking carpet is just skewed with these little ribbons and stuff, and I'm like basically sorting through all this stuff like that.
Like you forgot it.
I'm just like diving into all the trash, and I'm looking through trash bags. And no, it's on the tree. I'm like, the tree? I'm like, I look up, and he's like, I'm looking all over the tree, and there's this little envelope on the tree. And I opened up the envelope, and it was actually a cutout from a catalog or an ad or something. It was a cutout from a catalog, and it was the Brother word processor. And of course, back in the 80s, it was a pretty awesome thing. I mean, PCs weren't the greatest in the world back in the 80s. I mean, they really
very expensive too.
Very expensive, but they really didn't do much for that amount of money. But they had the Brother word processor, they had the monitor, just like a PC, and it had a keyboard just like the PC. And the monitor itself was also the tower, if you want to call it. So it was a monitor / tower, and you could put a floppy disk into the thing, and you can save your process and stuff like that. And it came with a couple little neat little tricks for me. It had a thesaurus, so I can look up, different words for other words, which was awesome.
Right, absolutely.
And my most favorite part of it had a dictionary and automatic spell check.
Very cool.
So whenever I, was working on any type of homework, which was my weakest spot is spelling, it would automatically, highlight the misspelled word, and sometimes if it knew what I was trying to spell, it would automatically change the word like it does now. And it opened up huge avenues for me because for some reason me and the processor just kind of connected on a level that you never would think it did, because usually I would just write all my poetry on that with pen and paper.
Did it feel more like more official once you got it? You were like, yeah, I'm on my way.
And that was the thing, is that for me, it was easier for me to see it on the screen.
Right.
Whenever I saw the words on the screen and I could actually see it, and while I was typing, my thoughts were basically going straight to the screen, and I thought that was pretty neat for me, because I was always having problems with my penmanship. If you ever look at my handwriting,
I have. We spoke about that before.
It looks like a 2-year-old wrote it. In fact, in junior high, my counselor was trying to cancel my art classes because she said, because I could not write, I can't draw, which is completely opposite of what I am.
Right.
I can draw. Trust me, I can draw up a storm.
Yeah, you're very good at it.
My handwriting looks like crap. It looks like chicken scratch. I mean, my doctor can probably write better than me.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's pretty illegible. At the best is how you can describe my handwriting is illegible. And my mom would always tell me, it's like, if I had to write anything or do cursive, she told me just draw the letters. I said, but that takes too much time. I was like, yeah, I can draw the letters all day long, but it would take me forever to actually draw every single letter one at a time. But for me,
Right. Well, let me stop you real quick. Here's what I want to do. For anyone who's interested, website, Facebook, Twitter, Skype, Gmail, YouTube, Blogspot. Let people know where you're at and how they can contact you.
Yes, it's UncleDavesBooks.com. Uncle Dave's like they're mine, and books like more than one. And same with Yahoo.com. You go Uncle Dave's at Yahoo.com. Twitter is also UncleDavesBooks.com. YouTube is also Uncle Dave's Books. I also have a Gmail. It's I think it's Uncle Dave CEU at Gmail. Also RIR Dave at Gmail, which is a project I've been working on. But all the stuff that you can get a hold of me, it's UncleDaveBooks.com, at Yahoo.com, Twitter. But yeah, it's all Uncle Dave's Books.
Do you tweet? Do you tweet a lot?
I tweet fairly often, but mostly I'd say the majority of my tweets come from my fan page, which I also have on Facebook. Facebook.com/Uncle Dave's Books.
Right.
I have it linked to the fan page, so whenever I say something on my fan page, it automatically goes to Twitter. But every once in a while, I'll tweet something, like if I'm running some sort of special, I'll do like a special Twitter special, like, certain books will be on sale only through Twitter.
Okay.
Same with Facebook, certain sales will be only through Twitter. I run contests on my Facebook fan page. You can win a book sometimes.
Okay.
So it's always good to follow me on both Twitter and Facebook, because I'm always running some sort of contest.
And your website's very active then.
Yeah, my website's always active. I always update my website probably once or twice a week, where I'm adding events where I'm going to, or I would just add more illustrations or more pictures from the events that I went to. My website's like constantly being updated.
Nice. Now, what if people wanted to give you a call to see if you'll come out for a signing or maybe a birthday party? Would they contact you through UncleDavesBooks.com?
Yeah, they can either they can go to UncleDavesBooks.com. There is actually a tab for it. It says contact me, or I think it says either that or contact me or contact Uncle Dave. And there's actually a form on there. Also, I think the form is on fundraising, but you can do the contact me. There's a form you can add. Also, there's the one called fundraising, and what the fundraising is for schools, libraries, churches, whatever it is. They can have me come down there, and I can sit down and help their kids make books of their own.
Nice.
So
okay.
they can actually have a book in their hand, plus they could sell that book for a profit. So, yeah, I would probably charge like $6 for the book, and they can sell it for $10, $12 to whoever, their parents, their grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. So that's a good way to raise money. Plus, it's a way to for the kids to learn how to write and draw. And I do come down, and I charge like a very small fee depending on how far
Sure.
I have to drive to get there, and how big the class is, or how big the church is, or whatever it is that I'm going to. That's just a project that I've been working on. I haven't really been able to put that in place, but I have made one book for one girl. You know about this, Larry,
Right.
about Morgan Barnes. She saved the boy's life and from drowning, and she actually wrote and illustrated that book, and I helped her, basically sat down with her and told her how to form the story and what kind of drawing she should put where. And
Let's talk a little more about what happened. Now I know you can't use the kid's name, but what exactly happened with that? Tell the people.
She was in a summer camp. She was it's like a summer day camp. Basically it's kind of like a daycare / camp type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know all the specifics about it, but all I know that she was swimming around, and she was going underwater. She loves to dive down, and she saw this boy at the bottom of the pool. And at the first, she thought the kid was goofing around and whatnot, but she noticed that the kid wasn't moving, and so she dove down and grabbed a hold of the boy. At first, her hand slipped at first, and she grabbed the hold the second time. brought the boy up to the surface and then started yelling for help. And the teachers came, did the CPR, and then Life Flight came and took the boy to the hospital. The boy is now fine. There's no brain damage or anything.
Awesome.
But
How old's Morgan?
Morgan's 9 years old.
Nice.
And the boy was 7. So not only did she save the boy's life, but she also wrote and did the story about it, which I think is pretty good for a 9-year-old. I met her at the Waynesburg University, and she already had a story that she had done about her neighbor giving birth to a baby girl.
Yeah, I remember that. Right. It's combined, right? It's 2 books in one.
2 books in one, and it's also in there. And I read that book, and I thought it was hilarious. And her illustrations were just so cute. I told her parents then, whenever I met her, that I would do a book for her, just basically for her family. And then, whenever she saved that boy's life, I emailed her mom back, and her mom was emailing me at the same time. It's like, we should do a book about saving the boy's life. We should do a book about saving the boy's life. So I said that, and she said it. Basically, her emails crossed in cyberspace and landed in each other's mailboxes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's meant to be.
Yep.
Now, let me ask you a couple of things here, too. You tour with your books. You've been to a few popular places. Can you talk about some of those places you've been to and which ones were your favorite?
Oh, yes. I've been to Barnes & Noble in Morgantown twice, which that was like a total blast for me because I've been calling it the bucket list. And I filled up my bucket list pretty quickly in the past 3 months, going on 4 and 5 now. But I got published in the end of August.
Yeah, let's talk about that too. But go ahead and tell me about the other things. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got published probably I would say the middle of August. I think it was August 18th was the official release of Ladies' Day to Play. And then I went, October, I went to Barnes & Noble, and then I went to the Buckwheat Festival. Of course, I went to your museum. There's a nice little harvest festival you guys got going on down there.
Right.
I had several, like the Sheep and Fiber Festival. It was actually the Alpaca Festival at Lena's Lippincott Farm.
Yeah, we went together. We were there. Yeah.
And I had, the Buckwheat Festival, the Charleston Book Fair, and then my all-time favorite of all of them was the Greenbrier. And the Greenbrier is this fancy 5-star resort in the middle of nowhere, White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, about a 4.5-hour drive from Waynesburg. But it's worth the drive, just to see the 20-foot round crystal chandeliers and just the big, huge rooms, the ballrooms, everything is just all 5-star resort. And whenever you're in there, you feel like a movie star. Even if you're not, you feel like you are a movie star. And I felt like a real published, award-winning author there because
you are.
Yeah, well, at the time I don't think I was award-winning, but I had my nice 3-piece suit on, my nice tie.
Nice.
Walked in there and people thought I was something, which was really nice. The people really treated me fairly well, and I didn't get my car valet parked, but I should have.
Oh no! Well, you know what? Too, and this is something for kids and adults alike to think about. I mean, look where the struggles that you went through. So through your life as you were small, and now look at you now. You overcame those obstacles, and now you're a published, award-winning author, children's book author. I think that's awesome, man. Congratulations, definitely.
It's definitely ironic. I think my life is pretty much full of irony. I said, here's a story about a kid that could not read, could not write, and he's reading and writing children's books. I think that's a pretty irony interesting story just in itself. But yeah, it was a long, strong, a hard battle, and still there, still knocking on the doors and stuff like that.
Now, do you think you would appreciate it less probably if everything had went smooth through the years and then you became this award-winning author? Do you think you appreciate it more now because of what you went through?
I think I would definitely I would not change anything because I think my struggles actually help me more than they hurt me because it gives me more of a character, gives me more actually stories for me because I actually have some stories about being bullied that I'm working on.
Oh, okay.
That the kids can learn from that. Plus, also, I love the hard work. I mean, I was born in from a steel mill guy. My dad was worked in a steel mill all his life, and hard work is basically how you get everything in life. And I know the value of a dollar, and I think that's the reason why I am who I am because I worked so hard to get to where I'm at, and I continue to keep on working that hard to get to the top.
Absolutely, great message. Now let me ask some media things again. You also sell your books on Amazon, correct?
Yeah, they're on Amazon. You can find almost every single book that I have on Amazon. In fact, if you look hard enough, you'll find autographed copies on Amazon also, because
Very
I
cool.
do have a Amazon store there which is also Uncle Dave's Books. But you can get to my Amazon store through UncleDave'sBooks.com. But you can always tell you this one thing: you can always find them cheaper on UncleDave'sBooks.com because there's no middleman, which Amazon is a middleman and gets a little bit of a commission from it.
Right, and also if you don't want to wait for the books, they also sell them at Artisans, correct?
I sell my books at the Artisans and also sell them at the Greene County Museum.
And those are both in Waynesburg, PA.
Those are both Waynesburg. Plus, you can find them at the Morgantown Barnes and Noble. They always carry a couple copies, and also you can get autographed copies. They're all autographed at the Artisans, the Greene County Museum, and Barnes and Noble in Morgantown. They all carry copies of autographed copies of my books. The only thing is that Barnes and Noble just has the one title, The Lady's Day to Play, because it's the only one that's published. The rest is self-published. So the Artisans in the Greene County Museum have all my titles. At least right now, they might be kind of out of stock. I haven't drove around, but have to go back and make sure they're stocked up.
That's right, especially after the Christmas season here.
Yeah, I'm
Let me
pretty
ask.
sure.
Are you going to give us a little bit of information on what's upcoming? Any teasers or anything?
I would say the one teaser I can actually probably give you is that I have a book that will be coming out before summer, probably around summertime. That's called I'm Not Afraid. It was actually a Halloween book that I was working on last year.
Right,
That
I remember that.
I'm finished with it, but now that I'm finished with it, how things are never finished. I will
Right.
finish when I'm finished. But I go back and I'll do the illustrations. The story itself is actually finished, but I'll go back and retweak the illustrations and have it finished by next Halloween. And I can actually say that because it's done. All it needs is little tweaks, so I can say it's done.
Nice. Now, let's go into the media again. Website is UncleDavesBooks.com.
Mm-hmm.
And give them your Facebook, Twitter, and Gmail.
It's Facebook.com/Uncle Dave's Books. Twitter's also Uncle Dave's Books. Uncle Dave's Books at yahoo.com is my email. You can find my books on Amazon. and almost all the information you can ever want to know is on UncleDavesBooks.com.
Okay, great. And I want to talk to you a little bit right before we leave here. You're in the works of doing some publishing for people, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. Let's talk about some of that for a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm currently that's one of the projects I've been working on. Like I was saying about the fundraising through churches, I'd like to publish other people's works along with mine, with the Morgan Barnes book also. There's a book that I've been trying to kind of get in touch with Joey Fliniker or whatever his name is with the truck driving cat. And
Was his name Jake? Was it Jake?
it's Joey. I forget what the name of the truck driving cat's name is, but anyway,
Clutch.
Clutch. Yes, Clutch, the truck driving cat.
That's right.
He's a local guy from Greensboro, and which is also in Greene County. And I met him at the Harvest Festival, and I'm going to try to get him on because he's being published through Publish America, which basically it's kind of like a scam. And I could definitely help him out a little bit more. He has a sequel to Clutch, the truck driving cat, and I plan on publishing that for him. Also, you have a book that you would like to get published, and I'll be publishing that one.
That's 2 books actually.
Yeah, 2 books. So basically, I'm just kind of gathering people. I plan on doing like a kind of like a non-profit publishing company where local authors can get together and basically they fund their own publishing. Where we have Madge Marianne. I don't know where that series is going, but Kathy's doing a good job with that. Blystone.
Yeah, and it's always there. I mean, it's always going to be there. She's been doing that a long time.
Yeah, she has. She says she has like several stories and very interesting stories at that. Just to say the least. But yeah, that's just something. That's like a goal that I have to work on. I want to work on publishing other stuff. Basically, just local authors getting together, publishing, self-publishing type of
That's right.
work.
And you're giving back. That's what you're doing. You're giving back to people, saying, "Hey, you can do this. I did it. You can do it." Right?
Yeah, that's basically the key I was saying with Morgan. Is like, you know what, if I can do this, Morgan's a little bit learning disability. She has a touch of that. And whenever I saw her, she reminded me a lot of myself when I was her age. She's only 9, and she has that same look in her eyes. That she has it up in her head. She just needs to find a way to get it out.
Right.
And whenever I handed that book to her, she's like, I could do better. And that's exactly what I wanted her to say. It's like, I can do better. You can always do better. Everybody can do better.
That's right. That's right. Now, before we go, where are you going to be? Are you going to be anywhere soon? Any kind of gig?
I'm going to be at the Preston County Inn at Kingwood. It's basically a family and friends night, and they're going to have. I'm going to be reading and signing my books down there.
You have dates for that?
It's January 18th at 6 p.m.
Okay.
So I will be there. That's the only thing I have on my schedule currently, but I'm sure as soon as January comes, I'll be having more, and I will always have it on UncleDavesBooks.com in the little events tab. It's one of my tabs on my book. You can just drop down. Also in the events tab, I haven't updated it, so you cannot actually see where I have been. And it has all the dates that I have been at different places, so you can see wherever I went. And there's also pictures of the Greenbrier and
those were beautiful
nice
pictures on Facebook I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there anything else you want to talk about before we go, Dave?
I want to say my magic pen.
Oh yeah. Give me some info on that. I know we talk about that once in a while. What do you give us some info on what you do there?
This is the tablet, and this is the pen.
Now, to the audience, I can see what he's doing, but the since it's a podcast, the audience won't see it. But
It's just it's just a pen tool that it acts like a mouse, and it knows your pen pressure. So whatever I draw on my tablet, it automatically goes to the computer onto the Photoshop I use, and the harder the stroke, the wider the stroke, and the lighter the stroke, the lighter the stroke. It's
so that's a
just
bamboo, right? Something like that.
bamboo, yeah, bamboo Wacom bamboo pen tablet.
That's a
And
plug.
yeah, I wish I could get a sponsorship. If they know I heard it's just send me money. But anyway, yeah, it's an awesome tool. And usually, what I do the color pencils first, and then I scan the color pencil drawing into my Photoshop, and I actually will make all my strokes with my pen tool, and it just basically makes it a watercolor, and that's how I do almost all my illustrations, and I just love doing it because I could sit there and just paint with my pen tool while I'm on the computer. I'll be multitasking. With the ADD person,
Right.
it's heaven sent when you ever have 100 windows open at the same time. You can be on Facebook playing games and drawing at the same time, and
Plus, it's a
have
stress reliever, huh?
yeah, it's definitely a stress reliever for me. And whenever I come home from work, it's like the first thing I do. I sit down in my recliner where I'm at right now, and I sit there and I just open up my computer, open up all the windows I have, the Facebook, the YouTube, you name it, I have it on my computer, and I could sit there and I draw. And then if my attention does tend to wander, and I wander on to one of the other little windows and then come back, and I can actually finish something, which is, a miracle in itself whenever you have 20 projects going on at the same time. But
Very
I think
cool.
that's the reason why I've done 6 books in 2 years. So I think that's one of the reasons why I've done 6 books in 2 years, because I have always had more than one project going on at the same time.
Right. Well, at least you finish them, and I guess he's giving a thanks to the Wacom Bamboo uh, company.
Yes, please send me a check.
We're waiting for the check in the mail. And all right, well, it's about that time. Do you want to give another shout out for your website and things like that? Your Facebook, Twitter, Skype, Gmail, and then we'll go.
Yeah, UncleDavesBooks.com, UncleDavesBooks at Yahoo.com is my email. Twitter is also Uncle Dave's Books. My YouTube is youtube.com/users/Uncle Dave's Books. Basically, if you plunk in Uncle Dave's Books into Google, you will find Uncle Dave's Books everywhere. And there's a lot of information on that on my website. It has all about me. Has Larry's wonderful article that he did with for the Greene County Messenger about me, and it has a bunch of pictures of me and the kids that I go see. All the projects that I have done. Go look at the illustrations. There's an illustration tab that shows every single drawing inside the book. Well, most of them, all the good ones at least. Of course, they're all good, but the one's my favorite of the books. And of course, there's information for churches and schools for the fundraising on there, where I can actually come to your school or church or birthday party. Even you can just there's a contact me tab there, and I'd be happy to go to birthday parties. So there's really not much that I will not go to, and as long as I'm invited, bring my books, and if you want, I'll bring my dog, Lady.
Very cool.
I took my dog to Milan Park Elementary, at 100 Elementary, I didn't take her to Waynesburg University, but I've been to Waynesburg University doing type of reading and whatnot. But yeah, I love the kids, and Lady loves the kids also. They like to pet her, and so if you do the birthday parties, she'll gladly come along. Same with schools and churches. She just loves the kids. She's bigger ham. She thinks she's the star. She's like, hey, my name's on the book, so she's the rock star.
Oh, you know what? That reminds me. You are on YouTube from the Green Room. There's a
Yes,
half hour.
I totally forgot about the green room.
Yeah, you're on the Green Room. And so if they want to look up YouTube, they want to look up the Green Room, you'll be, I think you're the first person. I think I checked it out last night and listened to it. You and,
Yeah, in fact, if you go to YouTube and you search Dave Howard Green Room, you'll find me on my Uncle Dave's Books YouTube. It's one of my favorite videos, so you can look at my favorite list, and it'll be there also. But yeah, if you just type in Dave Howard Green Room, and there's a really nice interview between me and the Waynesburg University crew up there.
Haley Green, I think her name was the lady who interviewed you.
Trying to think of her name.
Yeah.
Haley Green. But yeah, Haley did a wonderful job. I was a completely nervous breakdown because it was my first TV appearance. Now I was on TV again. I was on WBOY in Clarksburg, West Virginia. I think it is Channel 12. It's the NBC affiliate down in Clarksburg.
Got it.
But,
Mr.
yeah,
Popularity, huh?
I was at the Preston County Inn where I'm going to on the 18th at 6 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
I was actually at the Preston County Inn with a brunch with Santa type of thing, and the news people basically came down to just do like a quick little film with kids sitting on Santa's lap type of thing. Yeah, fill in cute little Christmassy blurb basically for their channel. And Santa was late, thank God. Santa was at church, and Uncle Dave was there.
Very cool.
His books, and I was about ready to eat an omelet whenever I saw the guy with the jacket come in. I was like, news guy. I quickly grabbed a hold of my publisher, and I said, let's go grab this guy and get an interview from him. And we told him who we were, and he thought it was a pretty good story. So he actually filmed me, and he did like a quick little interview with me, and he showed all my publisher's books, which is Headline Kids and Headline Books. Headline Books is the main person, but the Headline Kids is a division of Headline Books.
Now, are they both .com?
They're also, both .com. You can find my book there. Just Ladies' Day to Play also. My publisher will get mad at me if I don't say this.
And who's your publisher? Can you give a shout out to your publisher?
Yeah, my publisher's name is Kathy Teets. She's the president of HeadlineBooks.com, and the Headline Kids is a division that publishes the children's books, and HeadlineKids.com also. And you can find my Ladies' Day to Play at HeadlineKids.com. And she was the Independent Publisher of the Year last year, 2010.
Nice.
There's like 10 authors have won the Best Book Awards. She has a bunch of award-winning authors, including me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Mother's Choice Awards. There's a bunch of. She also has a film option. One of her books is in work for a movie deal. It's called Manifest Destiny, but it's not quite in the movies yet, but it will be soon, hopefully. She has lots of award-winning authors, and I had the Best Books Awards.
What did you tell the audience again? What you won the award for?
It's the USA Best Books Award for children's picture books, softcover fiction. It's basically a subcategory, but the subcategory, hey, I want it.
And that was for and that was for Ladies' Day to Play.
Ladies' Day to Play.
So
Yeah,
when
that's
you
the
buy that book, you're buying an award-winning book.
award-winning book. It's the only one right now that's currently published. Like I said, I do self-publishing on the side, and I have like 6 books that are self-published that aren't available in the mainstream media, whereas Ladies' Day to Play is available for the mainstream media.
That was published by an outside source.
Yeah, that's published by outside source,
Right.
that is published by Headline Kids.
Headline Kids, right? Got it.
Headline Books. Also, those are both .com, and yeah, she's based out of Terra Alta, West Virginia, so she's pretty local also. So she likes local authors like me. She actually, you know, emailed me and met me and bought me lunch.
Nice.
I handed her all my books in the self-published form. I basically plopped them down on the table because I submitted the Ladies' Day to Play, and I submitted a couple other, I think I did. But whenever she got there, she was looking at all my self-published books, and she really liked not only that I was a local guy, but I had a series going on, and the little girl that's in Ladies' Day to Play, her name is Molly McDoodle, which I'm glad to remind myself. Molly McDoodle, she's basically kind of like my little niece. She's like my niece actually named her Molly, and she's in 4 of my books. She's in Ladies' Day to Play, she's in Mouse in the House, she's in Sandy Claus the Christmas Cat, and she's in Baby Ben Did It Again. And I have like a running series, so the publisher likes whenever she signs an author, she wants to have more than one book whenever she puts that kind of money into an author.
Sure, absolutely. She wanted to make sure it's worth it.
It's an investment that,
absolutely.
there's more than just one book, and whenever she saw that I had a series, which is also something that she likes, because kids love to see a developing character. I mean, they see the one character, then the next book they see that same character in a different situation, and they love that. And my publisher, she really liked my illustration. She thought my illustrations were completely different from anything she has ever seen before, which I think, there's probably much no illustrations out there like mine. Not
Right.
that they're totally awesome, but they're different.
They're unique, and that's what I put on your. Remember when I reviewed Ladies' Day to Play? That was definitely heartfelt. It's unique. It's innovative.
It's very unique. It's because I don't think there's really anybody out there that uses the computer to illustrate or mixed media. I call it extreme mixed media because it's not just computers. It is color pencils or watercolor, whatever comes to my mind at the time, whatever's with my attention, whatever catches my eye. Sometimes it's pastel. It's extreme mixed media, and I throw it into the computer and I work my magic with my magic pen and my bamboo and just put it all together, mix match, and it seems to all flawlessly come together as one whole. And whenever you look at my characters, that was in mixed media. That my one character Molly, she's more cartoon. Whenever you look at Molly, she's more of a cartoon character.
Right.
And whenever you look at Lady, she's more of an illustration character. She's more illustrative. She's not a cartoon dog, and it does mix though. I think it's kind of I like how that works out. How Molly's a really cartoon character, whereas Lady's a more illustrative. She has the more fluffiness and the highlights and the different tones into her fur, and then Molly's more of a flat, one color
traditional cartoon.
Traditional, where it's all flat in one color, whereas Lady's all fluffy. So it kind of gives that contrast between the flat old characters, as you were saying, the ones we grew up with, the flat characters we grew up with, and then Lady, the more illustrative character. And it's a kind of like a contrast between those two, and I really love doing that type of thing, and it creates. And more than one person has said this. It creates like kind of a 3D effect with whatever object I put in the scene. Like in the ball that in Lady's Day to Play, the ball kind of like sticks out because it looks like kind of 3D.
Yeah, it does. Right, absolutely.
Same with the bee. The bee itself is like Molly. The bee is like Molly. The bee is like that flat cartoon, one color, no shading bee. And that flat graphic, I would call it, the flat graphic on top of Lady's illustrative, dog nose, just kind of sticks out. And it's a wonderful contrast between the two. And some of the illustrations in the Lady's Day to Play itself, with her in the bathtub and the bubbles. And you look at the bubbles themselves they're more computer generated. I didn't do the bubbles. They're computer generated bubbles, but with the computer generated bubbles against the illustrated that I did, it really sticks out, and it kind of like looks like those bubbles are basically coming out of the page itself, and then in the background it has the cute little tiles that I swirled and I copied and pasted a million little tiles in the bathtub, and that itself gives it a nice contrast and makes everything pop out.
There's a lot of detail in those. Yeah, there is.
And I like doing that. I like to put the fine detail, because a lot of people they'll do one or the other. They'll do the flat cartoon, where everything's flat and one color, like 3 or 4 tones of the color, but they're just flat color. There's no shading, no nothing. Like Garfield and stuff like that. They're all flat cartoon characters. And then, or people, if you look at some other illustrations in children's books, they'll be completely illustrative, where everything looks completely realistic, and they're either one or the other.
Yeah, and absolutely right.
I'm probably one of the only illustrators out there that actually mixes the cartoon characters with the more realistic illustrations, and I did that on purpose. I thought it was something completely different, because whenever I was looking at different illustrations, and I did a lot of research in the children's books, reading them. I like to mix and match, and I thought it really blended in together, and the kids themselves, they seem to really enjoy the difference between the cartoon characters and the more illustrative characters. Now, some of my books, like Santa Claus the Christmas Cat, there's a lot of flatness to Santa Claus the Christmas Cat. There are a lot of, like, Sandy is another flat character, I would call him.
Okay.
But the back of the illustrations behind everything behind the cat, Santa Claus, it's more illustrative. That even though it's still on the flat side, it still has the wonderful shading and sponging and smudging and watercolory look to it, even though it still has that cartoon feel to the entire Santa Claus Christmas Cat, but it still has the underlying illustration feel, even though the illustrations itself looks like a cartoon, but it has more of a watercolor feel to it. And I think most of my books have that watercolor feel to them. And like I think one of my books, The Cloud That Couldn't Cry, it's like completely it's silly illustrations. It's not more like cartoons. It's basically about this cloud that's afraid to cry, and all the other clouds and the sun and the tree, they're picking on him because he can't cry, and it shows the skies being really, there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of detail into the sky illustrations. The cloud character himself has a lot of fluffiness, like a
Right.
cloud.
Yeah, he looks like cotton.
He looks like a really like a cotton ball cloud, but it's like a cloud with a cartoon face.
Yeah.
But the face itself is actually built into that cotton. And
Yeah.
same with the sun. If you look at the sun, and it's everything has the facial features, but the facial features are made out of flames.
Right.
Like its eyes look like little flames. The smile even looks like flames. The tree looks like all the facial features in the tree look like leaves. The tree's eyes look like leaves. The tree's mouth look like leaves. The mountain's eyes look like little cliffs.
Right.
And the mouth looks like little cliffs. So I built whatever the character's face was into whatever it was, like the mountain and the cliffs.
Sure. Right.
And so that one's like completely illustrated, which is, it doesn't have any of the cartooning characters in it. And whereas Baby Ben begin, which is Molly gets a new baby brother, it shows all of Molly's family. It shows Molly's mom, shows Molly's dad, it shows Baby Ben, her baby brother.
And they're all contained within a, a lot of shots are contained within a room.
Yeah, they're all room shots, and and I love the weird kind of close-ups that I got going on in Baby Ben, where it shows the baby's finger and shows Molly holding the baby's hand, and you know how baby's hands are always so little tiny, and then shows Molly's finger being big against the baby's fingers, and then I have these weird twisted kind of close-ups of Baby Ben crying, because she learns that babies cry, babies spit up, all kinds of stuff, that whatever the babies do, she learns what to expect from a baby brother.
Right, absolutely.
Each one of them are kind of twisted. Each time that the baby starts to cry, it's like either a close-up of the baby crying, or it's off to the side, which I thought was kind of neat, how the background kind of shows that crying. Almost, you can almost hear it.
Yeah.
That color, the color itself, kind of scream at you. And whenever either the mom's holding it or Molly's holding it, the illustration itself calms down, and everything, it shows that, holding it and giving it a bottle or wiping its chin or whatever it needs at that moment, that the illustration just calms down and shows the kids, what to do with the baby, or what the mom does with the baby.
Right.
For situations. And at the end of the night, which I love the last illustration that the Baby Ben did again, it has Molly's mom and Molly in the baby crib, and Baby Ben's asleep in the crib, and Molly's mom has their hands, all three of them have their hands on Baby Ben, and then Molly's dad is in the doorway, just looking over at Molly and Ben and Molly's mom, just looking in, just like, just that proud moment, or that proud father moment, just looking at their kids and their wife and the baby, and then I have that cute little cameo, which a lot of people miss, the cute little cameo of the mouse underneath the crib.
Now the mouse is in every book, right?
No, not really. But the characters are in each book. I try to keep some hidden stuff in each book.
Right.
If you look at let's say the Lady's Day to Play is the first book, then Mouse and House is the second book. If you read Mouse and House, you'll see Lady is in the Mouse and House. The mouse is hiding behind Lady's ball. So
Right.
Lady plays a cameo in the Mouse House. Then Baby Ben did it again. It's his second book. So the mouse plays a cameo in the
Oh,
Mouse.
yeah. So it's a
And,
continuation.
so there's like different little ones. I think I probably will go back and do some more of those, hiding those illustrations in.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
very cool. You should continue to do that.
that,
It should
yeah,
become like a tradition.
yeah. In fact, I like to, because like I said, it's a whole series, and I'm trying to keep all these characters and going through the different books. And I was thinking about going back and redoing like my Santa Claus book for maybe next year.
Yeah.
And because I redid the illustrations this year that they just totally pop off the page. Before, they were basically, I had the words on one page with little holly berries kind of framing it, and then I had the illustration on the second page. And then whenever I redid it, I was like, you know what, that's just not enough for me. And I stretched the 2-page illustrations from one page to the other page, and made it one big, huge illustration. So whenever you open the book, it's just the illustrations basically, jump out at you, and that gives you that kind of like more of like that 3D look where
Right.
the cat's basically in your lap, and literally just pops off the page. And if I had more resources, I would definitely make a pop-up book.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, let's do this. We're going to get ready and go. Give
Okay.
us the names of the books that you have and where we can find them.
Okay, Ladies' Day to Play, Mouse in the House, Baby Ben Did It Again, Sandy Claus the Christmas Cat, The Cloud That Couldn't Cry. All those can be found at UncleDavesBooks.com. I also illustrated The Legend of Rain Day with Lenny Fox. She's also from Waynesburg, and I also helped them Morgan to the rescue. But I didn't write or illustrate. I just basically helped. And all those books can be found at UncleDavesBooks.com. You can email me at UncleDavesBooks@yahoo.com. You can find me at YouTube, Uncle Dave's Books, also Twitter, Facebook.com/Uncle Dave's Books, also HeadlineBooks.com, HeadlineKids.com. Again, Ladies' Day to Play is the one that's published, and it can be found at Barnes & Noble and Amazon. Of course, all my books can be found on Amazon.
That's right.
And the Artisans downtown Waynesburg and the Greene County Museum. But that's pretty much all that I have right now.
All right,
Just
Dave.
look out.
All right, well, we're going to end it. I want to thank you for coming out and doing the podcast with us. We'll do a part 2 pretty soon, all right? And what I want to do is I want to delve into each story, what it's about, what some of the processes were, how you went about doing each one. Just delve into that kind of, the inside, the guts of it. So, what's that?
The guts of the books.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to thank you, Dave. It's Dave Howard, UncleDavesBooks.com. And this has been Larry with our Uniontown Stories. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I want to thank my friend Dave Howard, a.k.a. Uncle Dave's Books, and also HeraldStandard.com. And I want to give a shout out to www.electricnotions.com and www.backburnerblog.com. And also, what I use is for a lot of my podcasting, I use my Field Notes books, and they're 48-page memo books. They're durable materials and made in the USA. You can get them for, I think you get 3 of them for about $15, but they're worth it. That's fieldnotesbrand.com. Thank you.